Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and today we're talking about Chelsea. Over the years, Chelsea have had some world-class players, from Frank Lampard to Didier Drogba, but they've also had some players who failed to live up to the heights. The likes of Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne were sold on quickly, only to bounce back and prove they truly are world-class talents. But what if Chelsea had never sold these players? Well, using Football Manager 2021, that's what's going to happen. I've sent 5 former Chelsea players back to Stamford Bridge. We've got Salah and De Bruyne, as well as Romelu Lukaku, Thibaut, Courtois and Eden Hazard. While they all left at different stages of their careers, they're all elite footballers. Well, when they're fit. So I've given each player a 3-year deal at Stamford Bridge, and when that's over, they'll go back to their current club. Can these 5 players take Chelsea to the top and prove them wrong? Or will Roman Abramovich be proven right in his decision to get rid and cash in quick? Let's find out. Okay, so here we are at the start of the simulation, and despite having 5 world-class players back at Stamford Bridge, the media still thinks they'll only come fourth. I mean, at the projected lineup, all 5 players feature in Thomas Tuchel's system. But how will they get on in a year's time? Let's simulate a year into the future. Let's see how season 1 goes for the likes of De Bruyne and Lukaku back at Stamford Bridge. Okay, so here we are at the end of the first season of the simulation, and as you can see, Chelsea have been unable to win the Premier League title. They've been pipped to the post by Liverpool, but the Blues have came second ahead of Manchester City. So, whilst the new men haven't brought the title to Stamford Bridge, it has seen an increased level in performances as they have toppled Man City and they have breached the top 2 of English football, the top 2 that always dominate on Football Manager. While in reality that's not the case, with Liverpool getting beaten by literally everyone, on FM those 2 are unstoppable. But with De Bruyne, Salah, Courtois, Hazard and someone else, Lukaku, Chelsea are into second place. They've got 81 points, 7 shy of Liverpool, and De Bruyne was an absolute class act. It looks like he was the star of the show, just shy of Harry Kane to be the best player in the league. He got 15 Man of the Match awards, which is pretty astonishing. But let's check Chelsea out. Let's see if there's been any success elsewhere. Is Thomas Tuchel still in charge? Yes, he is. Let's check out the schedule. Let's see what went down. They had a strong start of the season. Didn't lose many games at all. They did lose to Liverpool and they also lost to Arsenal, but wins are plenty for the Blues. League Cup they were knocked out in the quarters. FA Cup they were knocked out in the quarters as well. And the Champions League they also only made the quarter-finals. So despite having 5 world-class players back at Stamford Bridge, I mean they've already got an incredible squad at Chelsea. When you add the players we've added, is this a successful first season? Second place in the league up against the likes of Liverpool and Man City is pretty good. And it is only one season, but more will be expected from those big names because they're going to be on huge money as well. Let's have a look, see if they've been featuring a lot. Thibaut Courtois has been the main number 1. I mean, that's no surprise. Kepa's pretty appalling. Edouard Mendy only looks good because he's not Kepa. But Courtois has played pretty much every game, 55 appearances, an average rating of 7.29. Elsewhere, let's have a look through the team. Chelsea have been playing a 4-3-3, so they've ditched the 5 at the back that Tuchel uses in reality. Well, they haven't ditched it, I don't think they've ever used it. But anyway, Mo Salah on the right wing, 17 goals, made 42 appearances, one of which was a substitute. 41 starts is a lot of football. Hazard on the left, looks like he's been the star of the show. Him and De Bruyne, the 2 best players Belgium have got right now. I've only just realised that. So Hazard was on the left, Salah on the right, and Lukaku leading the line. 18 goals for Lukaku, which was 1 shy of Eden Hazard. And if we have a look at this midfield that ended the season, N'Golo Kante was sitting in front of the defence. Then you've got Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. But obviously Kevin De Bruyne has been playing there, and likely in place of Mount, considering Mount's made 21 appearances as a substitute. Let's have a look at the average ratings. Forget Billy Gilmour there at the top. He's been out on loan. He's having a whale of a time wherever he is. Doesn't matter. Kevin De Bruyne, the top player in a Chelsea shirt, an average rating of 7.89. Closely followed by Eden Hazard with a 7.75. Then you've got Mo Salah coming 3rd. And you've got to go down to 4th to get a player who's already at Stamford Bridge. That's where we find N'Golo Kante. Then you've got Courtois. But you'll notice Romelu Lukaku is conspicuous by his absence. He's way down here. 18 goals. Let's see how he did in the league. Just 12 goals and an average rating of 7.15. So Romelu Lukaku, the only one that's really struggling. I mean, in the Premier League, his goal tally's always been great, but he has been dubbed a bit of a flat track bully. Chelsea, it never really worked for him. Didn't score a single Premier League goal for the Blues before he was sold off to Everton. Is it a decision that probably regret? I mean, considering the amount of money they've spent on strikers in years gone by, probably. Timo Werner's barely featured with the arrival of Romelu Lukaku. But season 1, the 5 key players who are back at Stamford Bridge have shined. Shone or shined? They're doing well. Romelu Lukaku, the worst of the bunch, but there's still time for him. De Bruyne and Hazard are the absolute stars. They could be the ones that take Chelsea to the top of the Premier League, but for now they are second. They've got a 7-point gap to bridge between themselves and Liverpool, whilst they were 6 clear of Manchester City. They haven't won any trophies yet, but let's go into year 2. Let's see how they get on. Okay, so here we are, the second year of the simulation, and despite getting 2 points more than they did the season prior, Chelsea have dropped down to 3rd. Man City and Liverpool have had incredible seasons, getting more than 90 points each, whereas Chelsea were stuck in 3rd with 83 points. They were never in doubt of not getting in the top 4. I mean, Tottenham were 20 points behind the Blues. But if you have a look at the top stat, I never know what to call them, the people who are top of the stats, the goal scorers, the assisters, the man of the match awards, whatever you want to call them, there are no Chelsea players in sight. Before we had Kevin De Bruyne last season, but this season, nowhere to be seen in the top 2s. But let's have a look. Romelu Lukaku is now actually the captain for Thomas Tuchel. Have they won anything else? Let's have a little look. League Cup yet again, knocked out in the quarter-finals just like last year. FA Cup, beaten in the semi-finals by Sheffield United, that's disappointing. And the Champions League yet again, they made it to the quarter-finals. So this has been another, well, has it been a disappointing season? Yes, it has. 2 years in, I mean, they've only got 1 year left of these star players at Stamford Bridge, and they've got nothing to show for it yet. Obviously, there's been some incredible performances from the likes of Salah and De Bruyne and Hazard. You know, Salah's proven Chelsea wrong that they never should have got rid of him. De Bruyne likewise. Hazard, looking back to his best, which, I mean, he was incredible for Chelsea, but it hasn't given any trophies yet. Courtois had another excellent year in between the sticks. De Bruyne, his average has gone up by the looks of things. Another season where he's hit double figures in both goals and assists. Salah, a great tally, 18 goals. Hazard, not as impressive, he's dropped off. And up front, Romelu Lukaku, 17 goals this time. But he is the skipper for some reason. Only got 11 goals. He's done about the same as he did last season, although he's only played 20 Premier League games. Has he had any injuries? Let's have a little look. Missed 2 months with a hip injury, so that's hindered him. So actually he's had quite a good little season really. But if we put these stats in order from best to worst, yet again it is De Bruyne at the top. And Mo Salah has gone up to second. Eden Hazard, he's clearly dropped off, been gazumped by the likes of Reece James and Kai Havertz, which shows how much depth Chelsea have got. And Romelu Lukaku, there he is, alongside Timo Werner. So Chelsea have only got 1 more year of these players. I mean, they're all playing, they're all starters every week. But it hasn't brought any trophies yet for Thomas Tuchel. And they've only got 1 more year left before they have to go back to where they came from. So let's simulate into year 3. Will year 3, the final year, bring any success? Or will Roman Abramovich be proven right? Yeah, they're great players, but they're not going to win your trophies. Let's go into year 3, let's find out. Okay, so here we are, the 11th of June 2023, the 3rd and final year of this Chelsea experiment. And the boys have come up trumps. Chelsea have won the Premier League title. They've got 94 points. They won 30 games out of a possible 38. They only lost 4. And they finished 4 points clear of Liverpool. And when you look at the stats, the big men have stepped up. De Bruyne, 12 assists, 7.99 average rating. Salah, 19 goals, 20 clean sheets for Thibaut Courtois. Chelsea have been absolutely exceptional in this final year. It's like the last dance if there was 5 other title wins before it. But who was the Michael Jordan for Chelsea? It was obviously Kevin De Bruyne. Let's check the Blues out. Have they won anything else? Romelu Lukaku is still the skipper. He's the only one not to have featured any of the top stats, but he's got the captain's armband, so that makes for something, I guess. The Cups, knocked out in the FA Cup, 4th round by Man City, beaten in the semi-finals of the League Cup by Liverpool, and the Champions League, beaten in the semis by Napoli. Hammered 4-0 at home, that's what's cost them. But in the Premier League, they were pretty much perfect. absolutely exceptional, just win after win after win after win, and that is why Chelsea are the Premier League champions in 2023. It's their first title win since 2017, which was when, was that Antonio Conte in charge? It must have been, when he had Marcos Alonso and Victor Moses flying from wing back. It was somewhat incredible. But under Thomas Tuchel, and with 5 world-class players, Chelsea are top of the pile once again with 94 points. Let's have a look at who shone. I'm going to assume they've all been playing their part. Courtois yet again the number 1. Incredible. De Bruyne exceptional yet again. I mean, what a midfield duo that is. Kevin De Bruyne and Kai Havertz. It's no wonder Chelsea won the league. They should have won more, really. Salah, 23 goals, his best season of the 3. Lukaku, 18 goals. He played more football than he ever has in this simulation. And Eden Hazard. Now, Eden Hazard is barely featured. Has he been injured? Let's have a look. He's had a few niggling injuries, but nothing. 4 weeks out there, then 2 weeks. Nothing much, but he just hasn't featured that much. Only 15 appearances, 7 of which were starts in the league. 1 goal and 1 assist. Not sure what's happened with Eden Hazard there, but in the final year they haven't used him at all, really. It hasn't mattered though, as it has led Chelsea to the Premier League title. So, I mean, we know how good Mo Salah is, we know how good Kevin De Bruyne is. Chelsea, there's no way they should have got rid of them when they did. I mean, Mo Salah didn't get a chance. De Bruyne played a couple of games and then you had Paul Merson them slagging him off. I mean, it was one of the best signings of the Premier League when Man City brought him in. What a player he has turned out to be. Courtois, he wanted to go, but he would still walk into the Chelsea team. Lukaku, I mean, he needed to go to get the minutes, and he wasn't going to be the guarantee of goals that Chelsea needed at the time. I mean, probably one of the most underappreciated strikers in all of Europe, especially with what he's doing at Inter Milan these past few years. And finally, Eden Hazard. I mean, he's a modern day Chelsea legend. It's ended in tears a little bit here, not quite sure why he's not played much. But that kind of just sums up his career. In reality nowadays, at Real Madrid, it is not going well for him at all. But he's had 2 exceptional years back at Chelsea. The third's been a bit of a flop. But he's still going to get himself a Premier League winners' medal alongside his 4 new teammates who are set to leave. They are off on their travels back to where they came from. And that is the end of this experiment. Chelsea, in the end, they won the Premier League with their best players back at Stamford Bridge. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.